Good evening, everybody. A, meeting opening. A1, call to order. A2, pledge of allegiance.
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll now observe a moment of silence. Thank you. Moving to A3, adoption of the agenda. Are there any consent agenda items that a board member would like to have discussed as an action item? Hearing none. Do I have a motion that the governing board adopt the meeting agenda?
I move board adopt the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Conchas. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Meeting adopted. Moving to B, public comment. B1, public comment. Thank you. Moving to C, consent agenda. I call for a motion that the governing board approve consent agenda items D2 through D14.
C2 through C, oh, I always want to use finger, through C, I don't remember the last number.
Yeah.
Through C14, C2 through C14.
Thank you, Ms. Del Campo. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lorio. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Agenda passed. Moving to D1, financial report. We have the monthly submitted financial status report. Mr. Compinger will be able to share some information for us.
Good evening, President Navarez, governing board members, Dr. Maez, and Alhambra community. Last month, the Arizona Auditor General's Office published the school district spending report. For tonight's financial update, I wanted to share another figure that we are proud of. Mouse slide. Okay. At the previous governing board meeting, President Navarez asked a question about the peer groups, and I'd like to address that. The peer groups on the Arizona Auditor General Spending Report are developed to allow for meaningful comparisons among districts with similar characteristics. These groups are primarily based on factors such as district size, location, be it urban, suburban, rural, as well as other operational considerations. In an analysis of the plant operations efficiency, Alhambra reportedly spent $1,252 per student, while members of our peer group average $1,372 per student, and the state average is $1,535 per student. This is a testament to the work and direction of our facilities and maintenance team. Once again, this would allow us to maximize our dollars in the classroom, and that's where we like them. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Thank you for keeping us updated.
Thank you. I also I appreciate the breakdown. I think more of this helps us connect the dots a little bit more. And thank you for sharing this piece.
Sure.
And we also need to, as you say, thank the efficiency of the facilities management group, that they are staying targeted and focused and making sure that they are making good decisions with the dollars that they have. So thank them as well.
Thank you. Moving to E, new business. E1, issues for delegate assembly consideration for the 2027 political agenda. So in this moment, ASBA, I want to share a little bit more too, Dana. ASBA is asking for us to come up with a proposal to submit. So in the past, we've adopted previous years' ones, and so this year they're asking for one of our own, and we're trying to see of a date that we can discuss those policy priorities.
In the past, they've had like a litany of gazillion things that,
Yes, you're correct. And you have a copy of last year's 2026. It's that.
right. So are we,
And what they're asking for this year is something completely new from each governing board. They're looking for some different ideas rather than just saying, yes, this is what we still want. And, every year you just
keep saying the same
keep
thing over
saying
and
the
over?
same thing over and over. Yeah. So they're looking for something new from governing boards this year.
Okay, so there'll still be a long list. It's just that it might not be the list that we've had in the past.
Correct.
Okay.
So could we like consider as a board something like along the lines of ensuring that our schools are safe against any federal agencies that may be intruding into our school districts, like
That's a good one, Christian.
Yeah, and so I
kinda
think
what
we're,
they're looking for.
yeah, I think we would be setting a date for us to discuss those things, but I think that's an example of what we would want to discuss.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Contras?
I like the idea because we would be able to really craft what are our main priorities inside of the community. Of course, we want to make sure that we have good pay and benefits for our employees and our staff. But we could also have a policy agenda on housing, and we can have a policy agenda on transportation and water conservation, and a lot of these other big issues that impact our communities, but also our schools. So I think it's a good opportunity for us to have a discussion, maybe a workshop on this, and see what are some of the considerations that all of us care about and the community cares about. And this could be an opportunity for good community input as well.
Yes, and just to share with everybody the deadline, May 15th. So around the corner, but I also agree with what you're sharing. So,
I agree with what you're saying, but we need to also make sure there's a focus on the academic part of, housing, water conservation, all that's really important to us as communities and to our families. But we are in the business of education, so we need to make sure that we also don't lose some focus on academics and my favorite, less testing.
mhm. And right now it sounds like we're leaning into the discussion piece, but I'm hearing so far things that are important to you all. If we can maybe start talking about the date, and then that way we can see if there's any room for any other pieces or comments on that.
The date for when we're going to have a meeting,
This workshop or session to discuss. So if May 15th is the deadline,
better not May 14th. We better do it before that.
right? I was looking at our, I don't have my calendar in front, but I know we have our agenda, our next board meeting, which might be a lot busier. So we might want to do it outside of that board meeting, but I'm just going to look at the calendar.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Contreras.
another thing to consider is that this is for the 2026 legislative session, and the 2026 legislative session's already started. And of course, it would be for 2027. So, yes, the deadline is May 15th, but the school districts and everyone has a lot going on for the end of the year. I'm not sure why ASBA put May 15th as a deadline since it's so quick, because it takes time to do these things. But maybe we could ask them if they could help us with this process to get it done by the deadline, or if we want more community input to extend it.
That's a great suggestion because every school district's going to be like us. End of the year stuff going on. And why do they need it by May 15th when the session doesn't start until January?
September.
Well, September.
Yeah, your delegate assembly will be in.
Oh, it's the delegate assemblies in September. I was thinking of the legislature. Okay.
Because ultimately that's when the ASBA will be voting on it, or the delegates will be voting.
Well, I still agree with you. We should ask for at least June 1st.
So two things is I think we could check in with them, see if they can help facilitate this to help us meet the deadline that they've asked us to. And then two, if we can even also ask if we can extend it to some degree. That's what I'm hearing. But if not, I think it's a good point to pick a date. And I'm just going to throw out the 7th, the week before. Sorry. Oh, not the May 7th, I hear.
Right.
May 14th is our board meeting.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Conchas.
could we send out a survey on this and then we can pass it on May 14th?
I'm going to stick to Thursday. There's only one left, April 30th.
To clarify, when you say survey, you're saying survey to pick the date or survey for,
Survey to help craft the policy agenda.
okay, we can, so more of electronic format. Yeah,
Rather than having a meeting. Okay.
that's fine. Yes. And then we can vote on it on the 14th or at least dive into it a lot more and seal it up. All right, that works. We can do that. Thank you for that suggestion, Mr. Conchas. Any other discussion around this? There's no vote. All right. Now we get to a point though, right? So E2 appointment of the delegate. So the delegate assembly is September 12th. So we want to see what board members are interested at this time to be part of that.
I nominate President Navarez.
Okay.
Is that a yes?
Anyone else would like to go just before I say yes?
If
Okay.
you don't want to go, I'll go.
I don't mind going, but I don't mind also if you go too, since there is a
You pay-
backup.
Okay, I can be the alternate.
Okay.
I haven't gone in a couple of years. It's probably my turn.
So, do we vote on this? I'm just making sure it's not a vote. I think we'd said in the past though. All right. We selected Ms. Navarez and Ms. Del Campo. Thank you. Moving to E3, we have, all right, we have E3 for information. Mr. La Liberte will be available to answer any questions. And any board member have any questions or even just curious about more in depth of what this letter is or this section is?
Yeah, an explanation. How are the benefits, what are the changes to our employees and their paychecks? And who, I thought we had insurance through Blue Cross Blue Shield, but that's just a partnership. That's not our insurance.
Thank you, President Navarez, governing board members, and Dr. Maez. I'll take your last question first. We actually, our insurance is through United Healthcare, which Valley
that's right, I
Schools is
forgot.
the consortium that we're a part of, that we pull together as a self-insured district in order to get better pricing, or the best pricing that's available to us. So it is through Blue Cross Blue Shields. To move back, and I'm going to try to remember all the questions that you asked as I was on the way up here. We had about a 14.85% increase to our insurance products this year, amounting to approximately $1.1 million. So what we've done is we've had to pass, for the past 3 years, we've absorbed the cost incrementally of small increases. This year, with the larger percentage, we have had to split that cost with our employees. We have taken 85% of that cost as a district, and we passed 15% of that cost along to our employees. We still have, I'm going to look at some of my information here. We still have about, but we have approximately 35% of our employees who paid zero for their medical coverage, and about 53% of our employees our benefited employees who pay between $71 and $87 per month for their coverage. So if you add those two percentages together, about 80, almost 90% of our employees are paying about anywhere from $0 to $87 per month for their insurance, for their medical insurance. When you ask for bottom line as to what's happening to our employees' paychecks, about 98.2% of our employees, based upon the fact that the governing board has generously approved a 1% increase to our salary schedules, and the natural effect that all of our employees move down each year and potentially over if they have professional growth or career development, about 98.2% of our employees will be seeing an increase next year to their bottom line on their paychecks.
Okay. And what about dependent insurance?
That's including dependent insurance as well.
Okay.
We have about 71 individuals in our district that have dependent insurance. That would be anything from spouse, children, or spouse and children together.
Mhm.
Those folks are the ones, they're certainly in that 1.8% that may see a lower dollar amount on their paychecks next year if they don't have any kind of professional growth or career development. So I don't want to say, but yes, that 1.2%, which is about 18 to 22 people, will probably see a little bit less in their paycheck next year.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. President, as a follow-up question, as we know where the trend is going, what are we doing to anticipate for the following fiscal years to ensure that we don't continue to increase these costs and put the burden on staff?
Well, we have some reserves with Valley Schools, the consortium that we're a part of, which could be available if we decide to go that way. Unfortunately, it's a good question. I'm going to come back to what I was going to say. What we do is we're concentrating on wellness as a district in general, right? The biggest portion of our insurance that is medical and pharmacy is related to diabetes and the new GLPs that are happening out there. And so as we concentrate more on wellness and well styles and activities to get people more fit, that should then reflect in lower medical costs so that our costs are a little bit less. Everybody that we've surveyed are seeing double-digit increases to their insurance going up, except for one district that was brand new to this particular consortium. But wellness is our big thing that we're concentrating on. But we also know that we do have a bit of a cushion that we have with Valley Schools, our consortium, that we could always dip into. But that's probably not a good long-term answer. The better long-term answer is concentrating on wellness for our employees.
Any other questions from the board or comments?
Thank you.
And just to add, to my understanding, the efforts that were made this year also entailed informing staff about the options that they have, and that how could you share how that helped out the reduction or the increase that we probably would have seen if we did not do that?
Sure. Thanks for that question. Yeah, not only did we have to absorb the $1.1 million, but one of the decisions that was made during that process was to eliminate our richest plan, which was our gold plan. We had 47 individuals that were on the gold plan, and we reached out to each of them to see if they had any questions or if there were any ideas. We had ideas for ways that we could help them to save money as they went down to a slightly less rich plan, which is our value gold plan. So we still have 4 plans that we offer to our employees, which is probably two plans more than 90% of the districts in Arizona. We have a lot of different plans to meet the needs of our employees. And we met, the team and I met individually with our employees that were on the gold plan to talk them through what this was going to look like. And then we offered to have people come in and have meetings with us. I think I took meetings with 10 people. I called 10 people specifically to come in because of the financial impact to them. I had 10 people that ended up calling and wanting to come in, and then about another 10 who communicated through me with through email to individually talk with each of them about what this was going to look like for them in ways that they could potentially save money going forward. So it's been a process for the past 3-4 weeks, to make sure that everybody's there. And then starting on Monday is when we'll actually have open enrollment, where we'll have open enrollment specialists available to all of our employees as they're going through the insurance selection process. And we've asked that those people be very well versed on things like the flex spending accounts that are available to our employees, as well as the health savings accounts that are available to most of our employees.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the personal attention to those 40-some people.
It's all the team, so thank you.
I'm sure they needed that.
Yeah.
Change is hard.
You're fine.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving along to E4, approval of the amendment to the intergovernmental agency agreement between the City of Phoenix and Alhambra School District. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the amendment to the IGA to support early childhood education.
Move that we approve. Oops, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, you go.
Started.
Mr. Ocampo, do you make that motion?
Want Lupe to make them.
Okay.
Seemed important to him.
Yes, I approve that. I make a motion that we approve the amendment to the IGA between the City of Phoenix and Alhambra Elementary School District number 68.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. Now for our discussion.
I am very proud of our district for getting this grant and for going after it. It's hard work to do this. I know you all know that I value these early preschool programs and what it does for our students and our families, because a big part of Head Start is not just helping the students that are in the program, but the siblings and the parents that are along with those families. I see here that it says birth to 5. Does that mean we're getting an early Head Start or an earlier Head Start? Are we getting that chunk that's birth to 2, or are we still the 3 to 5 piece?
So this particular agreement covers our typical programming. We are partnering with a different provider, so they will be contracting for the early Head Start piece, but it's not part of this particular grant.
Okay, I think you told me that once before. I apologize for forgetting. So yes, use these funds and use them wisely. Our students need them.
Mr. Navarez, one thing I wanted to point out is how just amazing this is, but also there was $198,000 for 10,600 hours for parent volunteers for personnel. That's great. That's a great investment into the community. So I want to say thank you to the City of Phoenix for helping us with this grant and being a good collaborative partner.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passed. Moving to F, board policies, information only. These are regulations. Moving to G, comments and communication. G1, comments from the governing board members.
I'm going to let you start at that table so I don't get in anybody's way this time. I have done 2 things recently. I went to a professional development opportunity at CLA that was the Socratic Circles. So impressive. I wish that people who are out there thinking that teachers get up in the morning, walk in the door, start teaching, go home, and don't think about it again until tomorrow morning when they get up. they should see the thought-provoking questions and activities that our staff members participate in as part of their ongoing process of improving their abilities to deliver instruction and look at the science of teaching as well as the strategies of teaching. These professionals were so amazing, sharing and reflecting on how they conducted their classrooms, what worked in their classroom, what didn't work in their classroom, what somebody would suggest what could work. It was so impressive. I think that people who are CEOs of big companies probably don't understand how much our educators put in to being the professionals that they are. We've heard for years about what they do during their summer vacations. We get paid for 12 months. I mean, we get paid and don't even work for 2 months. How many of you are going to professional development over the summertime? Almost all of you. And that's only a few people here. The other thing I went to was the Native American Awards Assembly. I sat next to a lady who has 7 grandchildren at Barcelona. She has 1 in every grade level, 2 in kindergarten. And I said to her, thank you very much. What a compliment I am taking from that you appreciate Barcelona and what it's doing, that you've recruited all of your grandchildren to come and stay with you so they can go to Barcelona school. Those are the things that we see in our neighborhoods that are so, so important for us to keep doing what we do. You should have seen the face on the 2 boys, the brothers from Sevilla West, Granada West, I can't remember, one of the Wests. They came down there with their little certificates and they said, Mom, there's gold on this certificate. Impressive. So yes, very exciting times at the end of the year when things like that happen. Thanks to all those that made all those events happen.
Just want to share a couple of things. I just recently attended the National School Board Association conference in San Antonio. First time, it was really big, a lot of people from everywhere. But I attended a few sessions that I think were just really helpful for insight, but I just want to share, and you'll probably hear more as I go through my notes. But some of the things was like school closures. Obviously we know how real it is. We just went through an event. And we know how other nearby areas are, but just to see the raise of hands that everybody, there was about 100 people in that room, and almost all of them raised their hand that they're experiencing some kind of school closure or they're about to. And so that was, just a little bit of like, yeah, we know kind of thing. But the fortunate thing is we talked about, transforming some of those harsh decisions to maybe a community resource hub of some sort. And so I just thought that was unique to listen to how some of these districts kind of came out with that result. And so I'll probably be sharing a little bit more along the way. Another piece I appreciated learning about was some environmental green initiatives and how we could help our, not just our facilities, but just the air quality and just creating the environment for student learning. And so just connecting those dots as well and figuring out the resources. I look forward to sharing more along the way. Any other comments? Moving to G2, comments from the superintendent and executive team.
Thank you, President Navarez. Good evening, governing board and everyone. We're going to start our updates with HR since we have a special announcement there.
Governing Board President Navarez, Governing Board members, and Superintendent Dr. Mayes. With your approval of the consent agenda, the Ops and HR teams are so pleased to announce that Daniela Granillo Gonzalez will be our new Supervisor of Communications and Marketing. Ms. Granillo is one of Alhambra's own, as she is a current employee in our Community Relations Department. We are so excited to welcome her and her experience in social media, marketing, and bilingual communications. She is an asset to our district. And we would also like to recognize Daniela, who is here tonight with her family. Thank you for coming. And so thank you for your family for attending, and we look forward to working with you in your new role.
Good evening, President Navarez, governing board members, and Dr. Myers and our Alhambra community. Earlier this evening, our annual Performance Pay Committee held its first meeting to begin the work on the district's 2026-27 Performance Pay Plan with a focus on transparency, sustainability, and recognizing our teachers' expertise. Committee members identified and prioritized key areas for improvement and growth. We're grateful for their time and commitment to this important work. And a stakeholder survey will be emailed to all of our certified staff tomorrow with a goal of at least 80% of participation at each site, informing that survey so we can continue to grow our plan. This feedback will directly inform the development of that plan. So we really need your input, and thank you to our committee members.
President Navarez, members of the board, and Dr. Myers, with the approval of our consent addenda, we are also excited to share a new partnership with the $1 Million Teacher Project that directly supports one of our most important priorities, taking care of our people. Through this collaboration, we are launching a Teachers Net Worth initiative, which focuses on helping all of our employees better understand their full compensation, including how to shop their benefits. From salary and benefits to retirement and long-term financial well-being, all of that will be covered in customized modules. This is about more than information. It's about empowerment. When our staff clearly understands the value of what they earn and how to plan for their future, it strengthens recruitment, supports retention, and contributes to overall organizational well-being. What makes this especially meaningful is that there is no cost to the district. Win-win. This work is being supported through philanthropic funding, allowing us to bring high-quality learning opportunities and resources to our staff with no impact to our budget. Principals will be receiving more information in tomorrow's admin team meeting.
Good evening, Governing Board President Nevarez, Governing Board members, and our Superintendent, Dr. Myers. Thank you also for approving the consent agenda this evening. It allows us to continue our partnership with Blue Cross Blue Shield and over a dozen providers that bring our students, our Alhambra community and families, and including employees, medical, dental, vision, and behavioral health opportunities to better themselves. In addition, I want to say that we have 23 partners signed up to support our health fair that's happening on the 6th. At Carol G. Peck at 3 o'clock. And tomorrow we have 144 kids going to the Cardinal Stadium for Team Smiles, partnering with the Cardinals. They are going to receive dental cleanings, screenings, x-rays if needed, and more intensive needs if needed will be met. They're going to play with the players. The athletes will be there. Fun activities will be there. And then they get a charter bus home, all paid for through Team Smiles. So good luck, children. Thank you.
Good evening, Governing Board Nevadas, Superintendent Mays, Governing Board members, and Alhambra community. Across our schools, there is so much to celebrate as we continue state testing, and we're at the tail end of it. Our students are rising to the challenge, working hard to show all that they've learned on their thinking papers with focus and determination. This success is made possible by the incredible efforts of our teachers, site coaches, and administrators who have created calm, supportive environments and put strong procedures in place to help every student feel confident and prepared. The teamwork, care, and intentionality across our campuses are truly making a difference. We've got this. Let's keep the momentum going and continue the great work. Our students are shining because of you.
Thank you for those updates. I too would like to congratulate Daniela. So I'm so excited to work with you in this new role. And one thing that I do appreciate about Daniela is you've worked in our schools as well, you know, serving at Westwood and so making a big difference there. And then you've seen how hard our staff work and the important work that happens within our schools and the importance of our roles as district leaders to support and enhance what our schools are doing. So and then I'd also like to acknowledge her mother there, who's also a valuable employee in our district. And so who's been an employee at Westwood and now at Sevilla East, making a difference in our special education programs. And so again, I'm just, yes, yeah. So we have a great team. And again, Daniela, congratulations. And I'm excited to work with you in this new role. A lot of great things are happening throughout our district. And Mrs. Tamayo, thank you for acknowledging the hard work that's happening in our classrooms as our teachers continue to support our kids as they work hard to show how much they've learned all year long. And I know they're proud about what they've learned. And we are proud of our teachers and our students. And I met with our support staff advisory earlier this week, and it was great just to hear from a representative from each of our schools as well as our departments, as they know that they're not just representing themselves but their school and department. And there's such enthusiasm for the work that we're doing right now. And we took the time to engage and do some preliminary work as we prepare for Saturday, as we focus in on literacy and do some more strategic planning to look specifically at literacy, what we're doing well, and what we can do to continue to improve in that area. And I appreciated hearing from our support staff who are excited to be a part of that work. And as each time I meet with support staff each month, I ask them about what are opportunities that that we as district leaders can do to better support their efforts. And first, I want to share that they were very thankful for how much collaboration they currently engage in our district. Mr. Kent, you came up because of library services was represented there, and they're so thankful that they have a team. That they mentioned that even as a team, they work together and are always collaborating on how they can support what's happening in our classrooms. They mentioned in our libraries right now we have butterflies that they've been reading about and supporting what's happening in our classrooms. And so our libraries are a very important place in our schools. And but they also, what I loved about it was they said, but we want to work more with our teachers. You know, how can we collaborate? We support staff. How can we collaborate with our teachers so that when we work with our kids, we can support what they're doing? And just hearing their commitment was just really inspiring. Additionally, many of them are former students, and they mentioned as we were looking at how well we're preparing our kids for high school, college, and beyond that, many of them shared, I'm a former Alhambra student, and I felt very well prepared going to high school and now in college. And so it was great to hear their stories as they look forward to participating in our work as we continue to focus on literacy and increasing achievement for students. Some other small celebrations that came up that I thought everyone would be proud of are just what's happening in our preschool. We have through the nutrition grant, they shared how all our kids are taking recipes home with the ingredients, and that they're engaging with our parents because we know how busy life is. And so things like that are slowing. Parents said it's slowing them down so that they can sit alongside their children and engage in making different things that then they can eat together. And so a lot, like I mentioned, a lot of great things are happening, and we're super proud of everyone and all the work that you're doing to make a difference in the lives of our children and in our community. So thank you, and let's keep up the great work.
Thank you, Dr. Maez and team. Moving to G3, Governing Board Direction and/or Agenda Item Requests. Mine's a partial comment / request. I hear that the national birth rate numbers came out and it's a lot lower, or it went down. So that's not really a good sign nationally, and to the problems that we hear about when it comes to, having more opportunities for our students or for people to have kids. And so I just was wondering if maybe down the road we'll be hearing about childcare policies that maybe we can apply funding for, or because there's going to be a response to hearing this. So down the road, if we start seeking out some of these funding opportunities, I think it'd be worthwhile, especially when we want to help our parents get connected to Alhambra earlier on. So just wanted to share that. All right, moving to H, next H1, next board meeting is May 14th here in this room. It's going to be a busy one, so please plan to be here. And then we have H2, we have May 6th, our Blue Cross Blue Shield World Wellness Fair, and our retiree reception, May 13th. And then the week of May 18th and 21st is our 8th grade promotion. So if you haven't signed up, board members, you are still welcome to attend the promotions. Let Dana know. Moving to H3, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Mrs. Solero. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Contras. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.